TheWhoThatDaily.com. That's right, TheWhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who That and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, TheWhoThatDaily.com is your site. TheWhoThatDaily.com for the sport Who That in all of us.
You're listening to the PRO Media Network, the next level in entertainment.
On the PRO Media Network.
What's up, fam? You're now tuned into Ring King Boxing World. We're in the building. Big ups to the fight family members in the world, man. We're coming at you with another Ring Kings Boxing. This one called Manny Pacquiao won't be reinstated as the WBA champion, which is interesting on many different levels because with him losing that or not gaining that back, that means Ugas remains the champ, man. So no unification in the upcoming bout with him and the truth, Errol Spence, man. I'm Big Q chiming in on this installment of Ring Kings Boxing. And we're going to cover some news, notes, and items in today's show, man. And that's one of the items we'll cover. So I'd like to invite you guys in. Thank you for being on Ring Kings Boxing. Please feel free to hit the subscribe button. Please feel free to join and share other show links on your social media feed or other places where fight and boxing fans love to talk about the sport, man. We love the sport, too, and we cover it in our way here. I'm Big Q chiming in on this episode of Ring Kings Boxing. I got my co-host chiming in on Ring Kings Boxing, Eddie Too Mean Johnson. What's going on, Too Mean?
Yo, what's good?
Well, it's good, bro. It's not good for the Pac-Man, bro. It's the WBA denies Manny Pacquiao, who was called a champion in recess. He will stay playing because obviously Ugas will keep that belt there. So no unification for Errol Spence in the upcoming matchup with Manny Pacquiao. So to me, we're going to start off with that one opening up the show. As the WBA rejects Pacquiao's request for the title reinstatement, Ugas is to remain the WBA super champion. So that's a lot. That's a very big thing because I thought the WBA would actually rule in Pacquiao's favor, granting him the title back, being that he didn't actually lose it in the ring. He lost it because of an inactivity, but I thought they might give it back. But they surprised me here. So the WBA, big ups to them for bucking the trend. So no unification in the upcoming matchup against Errol Spence, the truth Spence. To me, what do you think about the WBA decisions? A lot of people saying they're disrespecting the Pac-Man by not giving them the belt back. What say you?
Yeah, I thought it was. I thought they was going to give it back to him. You know what I'm saying? By him being a legend like he is. You know what I'm saying? And the politics of boxing, I guess the trick backfired on their ass, I guess, this time. So I'm glad, you know what I'm saying, they didn't take it from Ugas, man. Now, what would make it interesting if Ugas was to fight maybe Crawford for unification or give a shot to Jerron Enos. You know what I'm saying? That'll make the welterweight division real interesting. They're going to see if Errol Spence is really the truth, if he was to clean out the division. You know what I'm saying? And then we'll see if Crawford was pound for pound number one. Like, you know what I'm saying, the claim that he makes. And we'll see if Jerron Enos, you know what I'm saying, if he wins against Ugas, if he's like, you know what I'm saying, he's going to be a real problem for all other champions. So, you know what I'm saying, that'll make make the welterweight division real interesting, man, if we was to go that route.
Yeah, it'll be interesting because Enos is up and comer. He's in that, some people believe, the second tier underneath some of the bigger names in the welterweight division. Of course, you have Ortiz there as well, another shining star of the young welterweight division coming up. And of course, Udonis Ugas is a guy that had to earn it the hard way. I thought he won that fight against Porter, but ultimately they gave give it over to Porter. But he's a tough fighter, man. He retains the belt, and it'll be a fight between Pac-Man and the Truth without unification. So Pac-Man 62-7-2 with 39 knockouts, move forward with the August the 21st fight on Fox Sports pay-per-view, going against the IBF WBC welterweight titleist Errol the Truth Spence, who's 27-0 with 21 knockouts. This will be at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. But the bout will remain a unified title fight rather than a 3-belt unification bout sought by the full-time senator and ring icon. Now, Pacquiao filed a request for reinstatement with the WBA this past May, shortly after his bout with Spence was formally announced. Now, news of the welterweight super fight came as a pleasant surprise to many in the industry, as Pacquiao has not fought since a 12-round win over then the unbeaten Keith Thurman in their matchup. Now, July 2019 title consolidation class at the MGM in Las Vegas. Now, it was also a devastating blow to Ugas, the 34-year-old Cuban, who for the better part of the year was the leading candidate to face Spence in what could have been a WBC, WBA, and IBF unification bout following his upgrade from the WBA World to Super Champ this past January. Now, the move came 4 months after Ugas claimed a well-earned, though strangely scored split decision win over Abel Ramos last September in Las Vegas. Now, what this does, like you mentioned, a lot of people's favorite boxer in Bud Crawford not having a matchup. Now, of course, that would be the last fight that he has under contract with Bob Arum. Now, it's interesting because Arum has Jose Zapata lined up for Crawford, which is it's just a joke, man. It's a cheap bastard. But I mean, it comes down to it, man. But Pacquiao, man, it's no unification for him in terms of him having a belt that we wanted to see the possession of 3 of the welterweight belts, with Crawford owning 1, which would have put Errol Spence and Bud Crawford in a collision course for each other in what I believe would have been a trilogy fight with 2 of the best in that class. So, Pacquiao, very interesting decision by the WBA. But let me play a little interview here by a reporter as she asked Pacquiao about what was his decision behind taking on the likelihood of Errol the Truth Spence. Man, listen, this is a tough fight, a very tough thing. And of course, Thurman was quoted as saying told Pacquiao to his face that he was going to lose the fight. But let's listen to what the Pac-Man had to say about him picking Errol Spence as his next opponent. Y'all put 1 in the chat if y'all can hear it. Okay, I don't think you guys could have heard that as well. So let me see if I can spin that again for the family members that hear it. What Pacquiao had to say about that. Put 1 in the chat if you can hear it. Okay, I don't think you guys could have heard that.
I mean, it's great. It's a great opportunity, especially coming from my accident and
To choose Errol Spence, a guy who's a lot of offers had to have come through between that time and now. Why have you decided to choose Errol Spence, a guy who's two belts, undefeated champion in his prime?
First, I would like to explain my side about picking Errol Spence. There's a lot of opportunity to pick a um not easy fight, but in much easier fight than compared to Errol Spence. But I decided to pick Errol Spence because I want to give a good fight to the fans, and I want a real fight. I mean, I'm a fighter, and boxing is my passion.
Errol, I know that after Manny Pacquiao fought Keith Thurman, you tweeted out an emoji with fingers crossed. A lot of adversity you have faced to get here to this point today, but what's it like to be so close to realizing that dream?
I mean, it's great. It's a great opportunity, especially coming from my accident and fight Danny Garcia, and then I get to fight with Manny Pacquiao, which a lot of guys is in the sweepstakes, and you had a lot of different guys saying that they were going to fight him next, and to get that call and to say and ask me, do I want to fight a legend like Manny Pacquiao? I said, of course. Why not? I didn't give it a second thought.
When did you get that call?
I got a call a few months ago.
What impresses you? You say you want the real fight, Manny. What impresses you most about Errol Spence?
Errol Spence is a aggressive fighter, and he's undefeated, young, and dedicated to his career. I mean, this is not an easy opponent, and he's a kind of fighter that you never underestimated him. You cannot underestimate.
Do you think that he is a more challenging opponent than Keith Thurman?
It's hard to compare because
he's sitting right over there. We got to be careful,
yeah.
right?
Keith Thurman is our fight is more competitive, more action. There's a lot of action in the ring, but this opponent is different also because he's a southpaw and aggressive fighter. So it's different to Keith Thurman. He's right-handed, and um, it's been a while I didn't fight a southpaw opponent.
13 years, I think, to be
13
exact.
years, yeah.
13 years since you fought a southpaw. So that has to add some unique challenges to this training camp. Do you feel, I know you've gotten some southpaw sparring, even though you've only been here a week. What are you doing differently in this camp? And is there a little learning curve after being in there with those couple guys that you've been with so far?
Yeah, definitely. We have to change our strategy compared to the last previous fights that we prepared. We prepare. This time around is different because southpaw, and it's different hip movement and strategy and combination.
Well, it's been 13 years for you. It's been 6 for you, if I'm not mistaken. So what are you doing differently as you gear up 6 weeks out to prepare for a southpaw?
Nothing really different. I mean, it's not a lot of left-handers in boxing, so you don't really spar a lot of left-handers because I don't have them in the gym. So what we did, we just got a lot of guys from around the country that are left-handed that can fight left-handed style. I can't find anybody to the T that fights, like Manny Pacquiao, of course. But you can find, some guys who has the kind of the tempo to mimic Manny Pacquiao, the pace of the fight and things like that. So that's what we found, and that's what we're working with.
Speaking of the tempo, I know Keith Thurman has said the thing that surprised him perhaps most was the speed of Manny Pacquiao. Do you anticipate that same level of speed, and what can you do to train for that?
I can definitely anticipate it. You can see in his fights, he's very explosive. He's very explosive, and he's fast. So basically, me and my coach, we got a game plan we've been working on. Of course, we don't want to say it right here, but we just got a game plan, and we've been working on it. And come October 21st, you'll see.
That's the truth. Errol Spence breaking the game down in the fight now. Eddie, to bring you in. You heard that. You heard what Errol was saying, and of course, with the Pac-Man saying the fight coming up real soon. Let's preview this here thing. This is an interesting fight. Errol Spence is at the top of his game, man. He got the belts. Pacquiao, of course, denied the WBA strap to go along with that. But with that being said, very difficult fight for Manny Pacquiao going against Errol Spence. Now, they made the comparison between him and Keith Thurman. We watched that fight, and Thurman pissed him off and really gave Pacquiao all of the gasoline that he needed to go in there angrily and beat. And he really put it on Keith Thurman, man. But in this fight, how do you see it playing with Errol Spence and Pacquiao? Does he knock him out? I mean, how do you think that plays?
I think like Errol Spence, you know what I'm saying, by him being, I got to go with the Errol Spence because of his youth, his size, and he got that power. You know what I'm saying? And Manny Pacquiao, you know what I'm saying, he runs in, you know what I'm saying, he comes in a little too fast. And Errol Spence, he can time him coming in and possibly hit him with something on the chin that's gonna put him out just like Marquez did. You know what I'm saying? But like I say, you can't underestimate Pacquiao because I thought because Keith Thurman was, you know what I'm saying, pretty young too. But he was able to pull it off, and I guess you're right because Keith Thurman, he be talking a little too much shit. I think he becoming more of a cheerleader than a boxer now, man. Sitting around there keep talking shit all the time instead of fighting. So
Right. You know what? To me, that's right because Thurman, man, you're right. He might as well become a goddamn promoter or something because he still doesn't have a fight. I mean, I mean, I don't get that part of the game. How is he still without a fight? And he had all this time because he's trying to talk his way into a championship fight. He doesn't want to fight Enos. He doesn't want to fight Ortiz. He doesn't want to fight anybody except for a guy with a belt. Now, I can, of course, with the Ugas decision, with him retaining that strap, I can see Thurman trying to talk his way into a fight with Ugas. So, I mean, it's really strange to see how it all plays out. But yeah, Thurman's doing a little bit too much talking to me, man.
yeah, I think so too, man. He better get his pom poms or something and start being a cheerleader or something. Or promoter, like you said. But
Yeah, he need to be the next Lou DiBella or somebody. He do way too much talking. Go ahead, to me.
yeah. But I was listening to Errol Spence during the interview. His speech don't sound too good to me.
Yeah, kind of slurred a bit. You think he was tired or?
I don't know because he said August. The fight is August 21st. He said October 21st. You notice that?
Yeah, I did catch that.
Yeah,
That he said. I thought he probably was a little tired.
yeah. I hope that's the case. He's tired, not from the accident. I don't want to see him get hurt or nothing like that.
Well, I mean, it's a lot going on because he wasn't exactly as crisp as I thought he was going to be in the other fight. You know, when he fought what was it, Danny Garcia in that fight. I thought he could have fought a different fight with Danny Garcia in that one, but this is a big fight with him going up against the Pac-Man. And of course, Pacquiao was quoted as saying Errol Spence is better than Mayweather in a chance to try to kind of lure Mayweather into a fight after the Errol Spence bout. I don't think Mayweather fell for it. I don't think he sees much use of trying to fight him. But go ahead to me.
Yeah, or by him saying that, he's telling you now that he's gonna lose against Errol Spence because Mayweather made easy work out of him. So if Errol Spence is better than Mayweather, like he said, he telling you that he gonna lose because he ain't have a chance against Mayweather.
No, he sure didn't, man. He looked pretty bad in the matchup, to be honest with you, bro. I mean, it was a clinic. Mayweather took him to school, bro. Just to be honest with you. Okay, let's move on to the next article right here. And we talking about Charlos now, man. We got Jermell Charlo going up against Brian Castano. Now this matchup is set the next big heavy welterweight the next biggest fight that's coming up soon. That's this weekend. between Jermell Charlo and Brian Castano, and it's going down. Of course, you can be able to watch it on several different venues, but it'll be interesting to see this fight in many different perspectives. Now, Charlo is having a pretty interesting fight with this kid. This kid's a pretty tough fighter to me. A lot of people think that Charlo's going to kind of knock this kid out, this Castano kid. What's your take on Castano and Charlo?
Yeah, well, if Charlo fights the right fight, you know what I'm saying. I watched highlights of Castano, and he used to opposing his will on people.
Right, he's a bully fighter.
Yeah, he opposed his will, and nobody really. I never seen nobody really hit him with some power that would make him earn his respect for him to keep coming in like he does. So I think if Charlo fights the right fight, backs him up and hit him with some stuff, you know what I'm saying? I think Charlo definitely, if he takes what he does, what I see him mostly do, is coming forward and he's holding his will. If Charlo could take that away from him, he ain't got nothing else after that. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how you, when you fight up against another good fighter like he is, you know what I'm saying? You take what he does great and take it away from him. And then it's an easy fight for him.
Yeah, Charlo coming into this one at a 34-1 with 18 knockouts. His only defeat was that one to, Tony Harrison back in December of 2018. But he avenged defeat and reclaimed the title a year later in an entertaining 11th round knockout win over Harrison in California. And of course, when it comes down to Brian Castano, he's 17-0-1 with 12 knockouts on his record. One blemish is a split draw against Erislandia Lara in 2019. Now, of course, Charlo's first world title reign began in 2016 when he scored the 8-round knockout over John Jackson for the vacant WBC belt. He successfully defended it against Charles Hatley, Erickson Lubin, and then Austin Trout before his loss to Harrison after reclaiming the WB strap in December 2019. The Texan took the WBA and the IBF belts off of Jason Rosario with an 8-round knockout last September. And of course, his fight with Castano will be his first of the unified title defense, which will be interesting to see. Now, Castano won his first world title when he stopped Emmanuel De Jesus in 6 rounds for the WBA interim super welterweight belt. Now, he was later elevated from interim to regular champion after Demetrius Andrade vacated that title. Now, after holding on to the regular title with his draw opposite of Lara, Castano was stripped of the belt when he didn't sign on to the rematch number one contender Cedric Vidu. So Castano claimed the WBO title at 154 with a one-sided unanimous decision over Brazil's Teixeira in February. So with this being said, two interesting fights going down for the title. And of course, Jermell Charlo against Brian Castano. They fight for the super welterweight unification at AT&T Stadium in July the 17th, this upcoming weekend. 4 belts at the 154-pound limit is on the line. The WBC, the WBA, the IBF, and champion Charlo or the WBA title holder Castano walking away as the division's undisputed super welterweight champion. Who wins and why?
I have to go with Charlo because he got that powerful ass jab,
shotgun jab. Yeah,
and he got that power. You know what I'm saying? If he can keep a cool head, you know what I'm saying, stop trying to take a motherfucker's head off of every shot and just let his combination flow off the jab. You know what I'm saying? I think it'll be easy work for him. But if he, you know what I'm saying, and don't get touched as much, you know, so don't keep getting touched up and shit like that when you start swinging all wild. You know what I'm saying? Like Harrison was doing with him. You know what I'm saying? He was winding up too much, and that's how Harrison was able to effectively counter him a lot, which I don't think he lost that first fight neither.
Yeah, he was a bit of telegraphing his shots, doing that winding up, yeah.
Yeah, so people, you know what I'm saying, that's tailor-made for a counter puncher. So, you know what I'm saying, I like I said, I go Charlo, but late stoppage.
Yeah, it's going to be, I think he has the power to back off Castano, man, and this is unification, man. This is coming up this weekend, and I'm going to definitely be tuned in to watch the Charlos. You know, they're two of my favorite young fighters that's out there putting in work. So it'll be interesting to see how the Charlos do, but I do definitely think Charlo will stop them as well in the later rounds. So with that being said, we'll move on to the next bit of news that we have for the family members. And of course, we got a bit of a running going on there too, mean. A little running going on in the heavyweights. Frank Warren says Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder 3 is to be rescheduled for October. Of course, news came out that Tyson Fury had contracted C19, which then put a kibosh on the upcoming matchup between Tyson Fury and a very pissed off Deontay Wilder. To me, we talked about this offshore. What do you take on the rescheduling of the Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder back to October?
Oh, he knew damn well he wasn't gonna be ready for the fight on on the 24th of this month. He knew he wasn't gonna be. You know what I'm saying? Like we said before, man. This guy, you can see in his midsection. You know what I'm saying? He's sloppy. He wasn't in shape. You know what I'm saying? You see how Wilder was training. He's like, oh shit, we gotta come up with something. We ain't gonna be ready for this guy in July. We gotta C19, like your boy Teofimo did. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, we can use the C19. Like, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? That seemed to be an excuse for just about everybody in all areas of life and shit. Blame everything on C19, man. Yeah, he knew that fucking heat was gonna come. He wasn't ready for it. That's why he backed out of this shit, man. He running this shit, man.
Yeah, a lot of people upset about it, but that he wasn't ready. That was the word on the street, is that he's not ready for this upcoming fight. And he really didn't want to fight Deontay Wilder. This is a nightmare fight for him. He really wasn't going to give Deontay Wilder an opportunity to rematch. He was forced to do it thanks to the decision rule in his favor. Deontay Wilder has blood in his eyes. I keep saying this. He's not being cordial. He is really looking for blood against Tyson Fury. And Tyson Fury is going to be exposed. It's only so long fake thugs can pretend, in the words of the late, great Tupac. So Tyson Fury eventually is going to get to his day. He can wait as long as he wants. Deontay Wilder's anger is not going to subside anytime soon. So it'll be interesting to see that, because Wilder, man, he's pissed and he got blood in his eyes, man. And he's gonna try to hurt Tyson Fury damn bad. He really is, man. I could just see it. All right, let's move on to the next one too, man. We got Mikey Garcia, Regis Prograis, targeting Texas. Now, me and you covered some of this in the previous show about them working out a deal, but it's official that these two guys will be fighting each other, but they just trying to pick out which venue in Texas. Probably be AT&T, if not, if it's available for their fight once again. But according to Boxing Scene, is saying that once again, Canelo Alvarez shows that he's the fulcrum around what the boxing world is. A potential fight between Garcia and Prograis, two of the top names at 140, is currently being negotiated for the fall, and both fighters like the sound of fighting in Texas, particularly in San Antonio. Now, Prograis is a product of New Orleans, lives in nearby Houston, and recently fought in San Antonio on Gervonta Tank Davis's Leo Santa Cruz card last October. Now, Garcia is a native of California, is no stranger to the city either. In 2018, he fought at the Alamo Dome against Lipnitz before a rapturous Mexican-American audience, and his brother Robert runs a boxing gym near the city as well. But both the Garcia and Prograis know they will not be able to commit to a date until they have a firm idea of where and when the kingpin of the sport decides to fight next. Now, Alvarez, who's a WBA, WBC, WBO 168-pound champion, is reportedly in talks to fight in September, perhaps against Caleb Plant in Texas, and has been a popular destination for him in recent years. The Mexican superstar fought at the AT&T Stadium in Arlington this past spring against Billy Joe Saunders, and at the Alamo Dome last December against Callum Smith. Now, Garcia Prograis fight is one of the most intriguing non-title matchups that can be made in the sport, but Garcia, as a business savvy, as fighters come through these days, knows that they're scheduling their fight around the same time and vicinity as Alvarez would be a self-sabotaging decision. So they're trying to pretty much nail down what Canelo's going to do before they can nail down their date. And like you said, both of these are non-title fights. It's interesting because it gives Regis Prograis an opportunity to take on Garcia, and Garcia is a slick fighter who still has a lot to offer, and it is interesting to see what Prograis can do in that weight class against Mikey Garcia. So this is a good fight that's due to happen real soon. To me, Regis, a lot of attitude from the city. He's a very colorful fighter. He has power in both hands, really smart how he fights. And of course, Mikey Garcia is very cerebral in his approach, a tactician, a bit of a strategist in this game. I like this fight a lot. I say Regis can will definitely. Well, I ain't gonna say he'll easily beat him, but I think this is something that goes on to the later rounds with a decision going to Prograve. Do you agree, or how you see it?
Yeah, I think it's definitely gonna be it's gonna be a decision. It's gonna go the distance because both of them motherfuckers are tough, boy. So
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? It ain't gonna be. I don't think it's gonna be no knockout. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be a. I guess whoever's able to really, you know what I'm saying, do it. You know what I'm saying? Work off the jab, and you know what I'm saying, and land them combinations
Mm-hmm.
and win them rounds. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because that's what's gonna boil down to who lands the most punches, man. Who opposes their will. So, cause both, like I say, I don't see no knockout happening in this because, well, like I say, both of them are tough, man. They got some, you know what I'm saying, some good chins on them. So, whoever's able to, like I say, you know what I'm saying, establish their jab and win on points. You know what I'm saying? So, that's a, you know what I'm saying, I don't know how, you know what I'm saying, tell you the truth, it's a 50-50 fight. Who wants it more? After that, that's what it'll boil down to. Who wants it more?
Yeah, you might have a point on that too. Me now, Alvarez is Garcia. I mean, Mikey Garcia's 40-1 at one loss coming to Errol Spence, who a lot of people believe that he stepped up at a class that he shouldn't have been. He had 30 knockouts, and is and still very much a respected fighter. Now Regis is 26-1 with 22 knockouts, and of course, whether or not it'll be in Texas, it'll be in Texas, and it'll be they have to figure out exactly what the date is. But they've agreed to fight, which is the positive thing. The easier part about it is then finding the date. So ultimately, they're saying that reportedly in talks to fight in September. That's what the Canelo is supposed to be. I mean, we'll see how it all shakes, but the heavy part of it is the fact that they decided to fight each other, and now we just need to get the venue nailed down ultimately for them to get there. So I'm going to be really looking forward to the Regis Prograis and Mikey Garcia fight. I think this is a really good fight. It's a non-title fight, but a very good fight indeed, and could be the take Regis to the next level if he can get a win on Mikey Garcia. It's going to be interesting, man, because Mikey can hit, man. He got a lot of power. And so does Regis, man. It's going to be fun. But anyway, listen, that's going to do it for Ring Kings Boxing episode. I appreciate all of the family members and all the True Fight family members joining us for this installment of Ring King Boxing. Please feel free to hit the subscribe button and the like button, and also feel free to share the show on your social media feed. To me, before we Dirk out, do you have any last comments to make before we exit the stream?
Um, not really. Just tired of all the shit talking and no fights being made. I'm tired of, you know what I'm saying, sweeping under the fucking rug. These dirty ass fucking fighters out here trying to sweep under the dirt they do under the rug and shit, man. Like Tyson Fury and Canelo need to really fight them guys that can really fight. That's gonna give them a challenge and shit, man. Just keep cherry picking these little easy motherfucking fight, donating their belts to them and shit. And I'm just tired of a lot of the bullshit, man.
Yeah, sure. It's a lot of talking going in the world. It really is, man. The men talk more than the women, man. The women get it on. The guys do all the talking in the world, man. Just a lot of talking. Keith Thurman talking. Ryan Garcia is talking. A lot of these other guys just talk. Triple G, he's running. He doesn't want to fight Demetrius Andrade. He's scared of Demetrius. He wants to chase Canelo Alvarez for a payday, even though Canelo Alvarez was reported as saying that he doesn't want to fight Triple G and that he wants to fight Charlo. He's not going to give you a fight. He's running trying to get a payday chasing Canelo Alvarez. It's shameful. The Teofimo Lopez debacle is shameful. He turned out to be such a weak, garbage, lion-ass champion. He got Cambrosas coming up against Teofimo Lopez. And then, of course, instead of fighting Devin Haney to get unification, he decides to try to strike a deal with Lomachenko to give him an opportunity to fight again. But, karma and dharma is something that's real. And ultimately, I think the next two fights, he'll relinquish those belts by way of defeat. It was already reported that he got knocked down by a sparring partner. So he kind of feeling himself right now. And I just really despise guys like that who cherry pick their fights as opposed to fight. If you're a champion, a true champion, you fight for unification. If the other guy got the belt and you feel you're better than him, go take his fucking belt. That's how I look at it. That's how I've always seen it. That's how Mayweather seen it. It doesn't matter how much you get paid. Mayweather say that. Mayweather say, listen, you tell me. He said, you tell me how much I'll make, or you pay me what you wanna. We'll fight in the phone booth if you want to, and then we'll make the fight. And when I beat you, then I can make my own money. I can make my own price moving ahead. These guys don't think like that. These guys here, a lot of these guys are more mouth than they are fighting, and that's why you see all the talking that you've seen with a lot of these clowns. So a lot of these are paper champions. A lot of these guys are one-trick ponies. They'll have a good night, and they can never reproduce that shit. It's a different thing when you obtain a belt, but keeping the belt when you got everybody hunting for you on that hill, that's a hard thing to do. So they run around and try to get the easiest fights that they can, but they should recognize that at that level, when you holding straps, that there are no easy fights, that you're going to fight top 10, top 3, or top 2 talent while you holding that strap. So, I mean, like, big ups to the real champions that's holding the straps, and debt to the fake ass paper champions that's out here running around doing the talking, like that fake ass Teofimo Lopez. I hope Cambrosa puts his on his ass. I know if he decides to fight Lomachenko, like him and his father decided to shake off with Bob Arum to fight Lomachenko for part 2, Lomachenko will put it on your ass. So, you know, you got him the first time around because he underestimated you, but he will not do that same. So, I mean, his reign coming to an end. Just can't stand these bastards that's running around cherry picking these fights. They're not real champions. That's not how it's supposed to be done. You make your money the right way. You can make the money and get paid, but also give the people the fights that they want to see. We want to see unification. We want to see the real deal fights, not you cherry picking these bullshit ass fights running around when you're supposed to fight Devin Haney and unify the title. And another dude I want to speak out to your point is Gary Russell Jr. Stop doing all that fucking talking, Gary Russell Jr., and fight people. Unify where you are. Stop challenging Devin Haney and Devon the Tank Davis and all these other people. When you sitting up there holding the belt for all these years, and I know why you hold the belt for all these years, because you only fight one fucking time a year. So if I fight one time a year, then I would be able to be one of the longest reigning champions as well. Unify where you are and stop talking shit to everybody outside your weight class. Get in there and make it happen and unify and take care of business in your own backyard. With that being said, I'm Big Q chiming in on this one. My co-host is Too Mean, and we keep it real on Ring Kings Boxing, keeping that real shit going. So for the rest of y'all, we appreciate y'all tuning in. Please feel free to hit the like button, subscribe, and we'll see you later on the next episode of Ring Kings Boxing. Peace.
Peace.
Perfect. You're now listening to the Ring Kings Boxing on the PRO Media Network.
TheWhoThatDaily.com. That's right, TheWhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who That and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, TheWhoThatDaily.com is your site. TheWhoThatDaily.com for the sport Who That in all of us.